The Bible phrase exposed in this lesson is preach the gospel. What do you think preach the gospel means in the Bible? Deliver a sermon about salvation? Share the good news? Speak publicly about salvation? Or speak persuasively from the Bible? The Greek word for preach the gospel, euangelizo, is the verb of gospel, euanglion. So literally it means to gospel. Since gospel is good news, it is literally to good news. Used in a sentence, you could say, the preacher good news to him. Since English does not have such a verb, and good news is a noun, a verb has to be added to good news to get the same effect. The King James Version adds the word preach. Preach the gospel. Other versions add proclaim, announce, or tell. I translate it as to share good news or to tell good news. The King James Version translation of euangelizo, preach the gospel, conflicts with its translation of another Greek word. Preach is the same translation that is used for kerusso. Sometimes kerusso is used with the word gospel. When this happens, the King James Version translates it as preach the gospel, which is the exact same translation as euangelizo, preach the gospel. Other times the King James Version leaves the word gospel off and translates this verb euangelizo as preach, which is also how it translates kerusso. This is not right because euangelizo is not the same thing as kerusso. Euangelizo is about the gospel, the good news. The gospel or good news should be mentioned. When both verbs, kerusso and euangelizo, show up in the same verse, it can get confusing in the King James Version. I corrected this in the breakthrough versions by having different translations for euangelizo, share the good news, and kerusso, speak publicly, and by also translating them consistently. What is euangelizo? First, you have to have some good news. Let's say a new convenience store is giving away free 20-ounce fountain drinks. This is good news to most people. When you tell people about this, that is euangelizo. This idea is mentioned in Isaiah 49 when it is foretelling the coming of the Messiah. When the Messiah comes, Zion and Jerusalem are to be tellers of good tidings. They are told to get up in the high mountain and lift up their voice with strength. They are not to be afraid. They are to tell the cities of Judah, look, your God. It is good news that the Messiah, the anointed king, has come as prophesied. It is also good news that he is our God. Euangelizo is telling people this good news. Jesus came telling good news to the poor. Paul also told of the good news of the anointed king. We should do the same. In the Bible, preach the gospel is tell the good news or share the good news.
For the only Bible version that uses the correct words, get the Breakthrough version or the Breakthrough KJV.